You arrive while the last blue of evening is still resting above the roofs. The city has not yet become dark. It has simply begun to soften. Across the water, tall windows hold a little of the fading sky. Pale stone walls appear cooler than they did during the day, and the canal gathers every remaining color into its slow surface. Deep gray blue lies beneath the arches. Narrow bands of amber stretch down from the lamps. Wherever the water moves, the light moves with it, quietly losing its shape and finding another. The arrival hall is open on one side to the canal. Broad arches frame the view without glass, allowing the mild evening air to pass through. It carries the clean scent of water and cooled stone. Somewhere nearby, dry linen shifts beneath a canopy. The fabric makes a low, brushed sound, then becomes still again. You do not need to hurry. There is no queue before you. No announcement asks you to move more quickly. No clock suggests that you are early or late. Along the far wall, several round clock faces are being covered for the night. Each one disappears behind a simple circle of pale cloth. The covers are lowered smoothly into place, and the hands beneath them continue their quiet work unseen. The city does this every evening. When the working day ends, the public clocks are covered, so the streets may belong to slower things. The turning of water beneath a bridge, the cooling of stone after daylight, the time it takes for a reflection to travel across a canal. The time it takes to notice that your shoulders no longer need to hold themselves quite so high. You stand beneath one of the arches and allow the floor to support your weight. Your shoes rest on smooth stone, marked by faint lines where many travelers have passed before. The surface is dry and even. You can feel its steadiness beneath you. The hall is large enough to hold a crowd, yet tonight it feels spacious rather than empty. A few distant figures move toward other platforms, their footsteps quiet and unhurried. No one calls out, no one rushes past. For now, it is enough to be here. There is no need to arrange the day behind you. Nothing has to be explained before you continue. You do not have to decide which thoughts are important and which can be set aside. They may remain exactly as they are, like papers resting on a desk in another room, like a cup left safely on a counter, like a closed door that does not need to be opened again tonight. The journey ahead is simple. A water tram will carry you through the canals toward the house of quiet hours, a small, resting pavilion in the oldest district of the city. You have a room there for the night. The route is clear, the weather is mild, and everything you need is already waiting. Near the center of the hall stands a narrow cabinet made of unfinished wood. Its surface is smooth, with a few pale marks left by age. One shallow drawer is open. Inside rests a single round token. You lift it into your palm. The token is made of matte ceramic. It is cool at first, then slowly takes on the warmth of your hand. There are no letters on it, no number, and no time. One side is plain. The other holds a shallow circular indentation, wide enough for the pad of your thumb. You rest your thumb there. The shape asks nothing of you. It is simply a place for your hand to settle. Beyond the arch, the final water tram appears at the far end of the canal. It is low and broad, with a dark wooden roof and wide open windows. A line of muted amber light runs beneath the eaves. The tram approaches slowly enough for you to watch every stage of its arrival. First, its reflection appears, then the shape of the roof, then the quiet bow of the vessel as it moves between the stone walls. Its motor produces a low, even tone. Water folds outward from the hull in long, shallow curves. The sound reaches the hull without sharpness. It is steady and predictable, the kind of sound that may be noticed, and then allowed to settle into the background. You remain where you are while the tram draws closer. A rope rests around a wooden moorings post at the edge of the platform. It tightens gradually without a snap. The vessel settles alongside the stone. A short boarding ramp lowers until it lies level between the tram and the hull. Only then do you begin to move. Your steps are slow and ordinary. The platform is broad. The rail beside it is smooth and cool beneath your fingers. The water is close enough to hear, but safely below the edge, beyond the low wall and stable boarding path. You cross onto the tram. Inside, the cabin is lit by small lamps placed high along the walls. Their shades are made of frosted glass, turning each point of light into a soft oval. Cushioned seats are arranged beside the windows, with enough room to place your feet comfortably. You choose a place on the left side, where the window is open to the evening air. The seat gives slightly beneath you. Your back meets a broad padded rest. Your feet find a low wooden bar near the floor. When you place one hand beside you, your fingers touch dry woven fabric, firm enough to support you, and soft enough to feel welcoming. The ceramic token remains in your other palm. You may continue holding it. You may place it in a pocket, or you may rest it on the small ledge beneath the window. Nothing depends on the choice. The tram was there for one more quiet moment. From here, you can see the arrival hall through the open side of the cabin. The clock faces are now completely covered. Pale circles hang against the wall, gently rounded by the air moving through the arches. One final lamp is lowered. Its reflection shortens on the canal. The boarding ramp rises, the mooring rope loosens, and with no sudden movement, the water tram begins to carry you away. You feel the first small change beneath your feet, not a jolt, only the quiet certainty of forward motion. The hull slides slowly past the window. The last covered clock moves out of view. The canal opens before you. There is nothing to finish before you leave. There is nothing to carry except the small round token, and the simple knowledge that for tonight, you have somewhere peaceful to go. The tram moves at the pace of someone walking without a reason to hurry. Stone walls pass beside the open window. Their pale surfaces hold the last cool color of evening. Small marks, softened edges, and shallow repairs show where water and weather have touched them over many years. The city is close around you, but it never feels crowded. The canal is broad enough for the tram to travel without turning sharply. Low bridges cross overhead at long intervals. Each bridge appears far ahead, grows slowly larger, and then passes above the roof with a quiet change in sound. Before the bridge, the motor tone is open and distant. Beneath the stone, it becomes rounder. Afterward, it opens again. The pattern repeats without demanding your attention. Open sound, sheltered sound, open sound once more. You may listen to it for a while. You may also allow it to pass unnoticed. The seat continues to support your back. The woven cushion beneath your hand remains dry and slightly textured. Your feet rest easily on the wooden bar. A mild current of air enters through the window and crosses the side of your face. It is cooler now than it was in the hall, though not cold. The air carries the clean scent of canal water and old mineral walls. There is no smoke, no traffic, and no sharp perfume. Only water, stone, and a little dry wood from the tram cabin. Along the canal, Amber lamps stand at measured distances. They do not flash past. The tram moves too slowly for that. Each lamp appears as a small, warm point ahead. It approaches, brightens gently, and then drifts behind you. Between the lamps lie long spaces of blue-gray quiet. Light, soft shadow, light again. The city seems to breathe in this simple rhythm. On the opposite bank, a narrow walkway follows the water. A folded canvas cover lies over a small cart, its corners secured beneath the frame. Farther along, 2 chairs have been placed beneath an awning. No one sits there now. The chairs face the canal, as though they, too, have finished for the evening. A doorway closes without a slam. A window curtain settles. A lamp behind frosted glass becomes dimmer. These are not endings that require sadness. They are only the small signs of a city placing one part of itself aside. Your thoughts may do the same, or they may not. Nothing is required. The tram turns gently into a wider canal. Ahead, the view opens. The roofs become lower, and a broad stretch of water carries the remaining sky. It has deepened from blue to charcoal, yet a pale line still rests near the horizon. At the far end of the canal, a single amber lantern is visible. It is small from here, smaller than the lamps beside the water. Steadier too. Its light does not brighten and fade as the tram moves. It remains in the same distant place, marking the district of the House of Quiet Hours. Below it, the lantern casts a long reflection. The amber line is not straight. The surface of the canal breaks it into many pieces. A passing ripple separates one piece from another. A current bends the lower end. A small wave widens it, then makes it narrow again. The lantern itself remains steady. Only the reflection changes. You watch the line for a little while. There is something restful in the way it never tries to correct itself. The water does not hold the light perfectly. It does not need to. The reflection may stretch, divide, tremble, or disappear beneath the tram's own wake. A moment later, it returns in another form. The motor continues its low, even sound. Water brushes the hull. Air enters through the open window. The 3 sensations remain with you. As the tram travels onward, you can notice the support beneath your legs. You can notice the weight of your hands. You can notice where your jaw rests when you are not asking it to do anything. There is no need to deepen your breathing. There is no need to slow it deliberately. The body already knows how to breathe while sitting beside water. It has done so without instruction since you entered the tram. A bridge approaches. This one is lower than the others, with a smooth underside and a row of recessed lamps. As the tram passes beneath, warm light moves across the cabin ceiling. It travels from the front of the vessel to the back, one soft oval after another. The light touches the wooden floor, the brass edge of the window, the ceramic token on the ledge. For a moment, the indentation in the token holds a small crescent of amber. Then the tram emerges, and the token returns to its quiet matte surface. You place your thumb against the hollow again. It fits easily. Nothing is written there, and nothing needs to be remembered. The canal narrows. The water becomes darker between the buildings. Windows appear closer now, though most are shaded by linen curtains or wooden screens. A few upper rooms remain lit. The tram passes a balcony where folded fabric lies over the rail. It moves once in the evening air, then settles against the stone. A shallow stair descends from a doorway to a private landing. A watering can rests on the top step. Nearby, 3 empty pots stand in a row, their rims catching the faint light. The details pass slowly enough to see and slowly enough to forget. You do not have to follow them. The city will continue whether you watch closely or allow your gaze to soften. The faraway lantern disappears behind the curve of a building. Its reflection goes with it. There is no loss in this. The route will bring it back. For now, the tram carries you through another long passage of water. The motor hum remains unchanged. The windows beside you hold fewer colors. The cool air brushes your cheek at the same mild angle. You may notice that the day already feels less immediate, not gone, only farther away, like the arrival hall behind several turns of the canal. Like a covered clock on a wall you can no longer see. The tram continues. There is room to rest inside the movement. A second bridge passes overhead. The cabin sound becomes sheltered, then open again. Beyond it, a low row of buildings stands beside the water. Their shutters have been closed, and their doorways swept. One small lamp remains above each entrance, enough to show the dry walkway and the smooth rail beside it. You notice that the amber lights do not compete with the night. They do not attempt to make the city look like day. They illuminate only what is needed: a step, a handrail, the edge of a platform, a place to sit. Everything beyond those small pools of light is allowed to become quiet. The tram glides onward. The motor remains low. The water continues folding away from the hull. The evening air moves through the open window. These familiar sensations begin to carry less information than they did before. They become a background, a steady surface on which attention may rest. There is no need to keep track of how many bridges have passed. There is no need to know how long the journey has taken. The clocks are covered. The route is known. And the faraway lantern, whether visible or hidden by the turning city, remains ahead. The canal passes through a residential quarter where the buildings stand close to the water. There are no shops here. No displays fill the windows. The stone fronts are simple, with narrow balconies and tall openings placed at even intervals. Most of the windows are dim. Some are covered with wooden screens. Others hold curtains in shades of cream, gray and faded blue. A few upper rooms remain softly lit, though no movement inside asks for your attention. The tram glides past a table beside a window. A closed book rests on its surface. A cup has been turned upside down on a cloth. The scene remains for only a few seconds before the frame of the next building moves between you and the glass. Farther along, a folded chair stands just inside an open doorway. A pair of indoor shoes has been placed beside it, their toes aligned toward the room. On another balcony, a length of dry linen hangs beneath shelter. The fabric does not flap. It lifts slightly when the evening air passes, then falls back into place. These details do not need to become stories. You do not have to imagine who owns them, what happened during the day, or what tomorrow will bring. Or they may remain exactly what they are. A chair, a cloth, a closed book, a cup set down, the simple evidence of ordinary things no longer in use. The tram enters a quieter stretch of water. Here, the buildings are set farther back. Short private landings lie between the canal and the doors. Small lamps have been placed low along the steps, making each edge easy to see. A watering can rests on one landing. 2 wooden crates are stacked beneath a canopy. A bicycle stands inside, a covered passage, its front wheel turned toward the wall. Nothing appears abandoned. Everything appears safely put away. The faraway lantern returns at the end of the canal. It is visible only for a moment between two buildings. Its reflection forms a thin amber line across the water, interrupted by the shadow of a mooring post. Then the tram turns again. The lantern passes from view. The route remains certain. You lean back into the cushion. The woven fabric supports the length of your shoulders. The wooden bar beneath your feet is smooth, where shoes have rested against it. The side of the cabin is warm from the lamps, while the air from the window remains cool. Warmth on one side, coolness on the other. The body does not need to choose between them. It can receive both. Ahead, a small platform extends into the canal. The tram begins to slow. There is no announcement. A narrow lamp above the platform grows clearer as you approach. The motor lowers in pitch, and the water along the hull becomes quieter. The vessel settles beside the stone. No one is waiting to board. No one stands to leave. The stop is part of the route, whether or not a passenger uses it. For a little while, the tram remains still. The motor becomes almost silent. Water continues to move beneath the platform, producing a faint hollow sound. A rope shifts against wood. Somewhere behind the houses, a ventilation fan turns with a soft, repeating hum. The city does not become completely silent. Instead, the sounds separate from one another. You can hear the closest sound first. Water touching the side of the tram. Then a sound slightly farther away. The turning fan behind a wall. Then something more distant. A door being closed carefully across the canal. After that, there is a space. Not an empty space. A resting space between sounds. You may allow your attention to settle there. Your feet remain supported. Your legs rest easily. Your back is held by the cushion. Your hands have found their own place. Perhaps one rests near the ceramic token. Perhaps the other lies loosely in your lap. You can notice the forehead without trying to smooth it. You can notice the jaw without asking it to change. You can notice the mouth, the throat, the quiet movement of breath. Nothing needs to become deeper. Nothing needs to become slower. You are simply aware that breathing continues. The water touches the tram. The distant fan turns. The open window allows evening air to enter and leave. After a while, the motor returns. Its tone rises slowly, as though from a great distance. The tram begins to move. The platform slides behind you, still empty, still illuminated by its single lamp. The residential canal continues. You pass a narrow courtyard visible through an open arch. A cloth has been spread over a stone bench. On the ground beside it stands a small bucket, clean and empty. A wooden shutter has been fastened back against the wall. The courtyard holds no secret. It is simply ready for morning. Another building contains a long room with frosted windows. The light behind them is being lowered in stages. One section dims, then another. Then the final window, nearest the water, the canal darkens. The tram lamps become more noticeable inside the cabin. Their reflections lie on the polished wood in soft, uneven patches. When the vessel moves beneath a bridge, the patches shift. When it enters open water, they settle again. A second empty platform appears. This time the tram does not stop. It passes at the same slow speed. A bench sits beneath a linen canopy. The fabric is tied securely at each corner. A narrow drain carries a thread of water toward the canal. The platform recedes. The motor tone remains even. You may let your gaze rest on the window frame. You may look toward the passing buildings. You may close your eyes for a few moments and allow the route to continue without being watched. The tram does not need your attention in order to know where it is going. The city does not need your attention in order to become night. Your body does not need your supervision in order to sit, breathe, and be carried. For a little while, you allow the movement to happen around you. The seat remains steady. The water remains low beside the hull. The air remains mild. When your eyes open again, the residential buildings have begun to thin. Ahead, another quiet district lies beside the canal. Its ground floor shutters are broad and closely fitted. Canvas awnings have been rolled and tied. Counters stand behind latticed screens, clean and empty after the day. The tram passes the closed commercial quarter without stopping. A handcart rests beneath an arch. 3 baskets have been turned upside down to dry. A long wooden counter has been wiped clear, leaving only a soft reflection from the nearest lamp. The scene is orderly, but not rigid. A corner of one awning hangs slightly lower than the other. A coil of rope rests beside a post rather than on its hook. A folded cloth lies near the end of a counter, ready for the morning. The city has not attempted to make everything perfect before night. It has done enough. Then it has stopped. The thought may remain with you for a while. Doing enough and then stopping. Not because every task has ended. Not because every object is in its final place. Only because the day has reached the point where continuation is no longer necessary. The tram passes beneath another bridge. The enclosed sound gathers around you and releases. Ahead, a broad glass roof rises above the canal. Its curved surface reflects the last pale line of the sky. The tram is approaching the interchange. The glass roof begins far above the canal. Its ribs are made of dark metal, evenly spaced and gently curved. Between them, the glass holds the final gray of the sky. A few small drops from an earlier rain have dried into pale marks, barely visible against the deepening evening. The tram enters beneath the roof. Sound changes, though not suddenly. The motor tone becomes softer and rounder. Water against stone carries a quiet echo. The small movements of the cabin seem to belong to a larger room. Platforms extend along both sides of the basin. They are broad, level, and lit from below by recessed amber lamps. Handrails follow the water's edge. Benches stand at regular intervals beneath the roof. The interchange is nearly empty. One distant tram rests at another platform with its interior lights lowered. A maintenance cart is parked beneath a linen cover. At the far end, a single figure moves slowly across an upper walkway, then passes behind a column and out of sight. Nothing feels uncertain. Every route is visible. The tram slows beside the left platform. A rope is secured without a sharp sound. The ramp lowers and meets the stone. This is where you leave the vessel. You get to take the ceramic token from the ledge and let it rest in your palm. The cushion rises slightly as you stand. Your feet return to the wooden floor. For a moment, you feel the stable support of the tram beneath you and the steady platform waiting beyond the ramp. Then you cross. The stone is faintly warm through the soles of your shoes. It has held a little of the day beneath the shelter of the glass roof. The warmth is subtle, but after the cooler air beside the window, you can feel the difference. The tram remains beside the platform while you walk a few steps toward the nearest bench. You hear the ramp rise behind you. The motor returns. The vessel departs as slowly as it arrived. Its low lights move along the water, pass beneath the next section of roof, and become smaller. The sound lingers for a while after the tram is gone. Then the interchange grows quiet again. You sit on the stone bench. Its surface is smooth and gently warmed. The backrest meets you at an easy angle. Your feet rest flat on the floor. The ceramic token remains in one hand, its circular hollow beneath your thumb. From here, you can see the entire basin. The water lies darker beneath the glass roof. Amber lamps along the platform break into short lines on the surface. Supporting columns divide the view into calm, repeated sections. For a while, you simply listen. The closest sound is water meeting the platform wall. It arrives in a soft pattern, a small movement, a pause, another small movement. Farther away, the departing tram continues through the covered basin. Its motor is quieter now, more felt than heard. Beyond that, air moves through the upper vents of the interchange. The sound is steady and low. It does not rise or fall, water nearby. Motor farther away, air above, 3 distances, 3 simple layers. You can listen to the nearest one, then the middle one, then the farthest. There is no need to hold them all at once. The water comes and goes. The motor becomes fainter. The ventilation continues. Between the sounds lies the same resting space you noticed at the empty platform. You allow yourself to notice it again. The bench supports your back. The floor supports your feet. The air touches the exposed skin of your hands and face. Your breathing continues without effort. You do not need to improve it. You do not need to count. The next breath arrives when it arrives. The motor finally fades beyond the far end of the roof. Only water and air remain. On the opposite side of the basin, a lamp is lowered behind a frosted panel. Its reflection shortens. The other lamps remain unchanged. You turn your gaze toward the open end of the interchange. Beyond the final row of columns, the faraway lantern is visible again. It appears framed by the architecture. One column stands to the left of it, another to the right. Its amber reflection crosses the open water outside, then enters the shadow beneath the roof. From where you sit, the reflection seems divided by the dark columns. You shift slightly on the bench. The pieces move closer. You change your position once more without urgency. The amber line becomes whole again. Nothing in the lantern has changed. Only the angle from which you see it. You rest your thumb in the hollow of the token. The ceramic has become warm from your hand. The interchange contains several passages, but the route toward the House of Quiet Hours is easy to follow. A line of low lamps begins near your bench and continues toward a wide opening at the side of the building. You do not need to study a map. You do not need to ask for directions. The next part of the journey waits within clear view. Still, there is no reason to stand immediately. You remain on the bench for another little while. Water meets stone. Air moves through the roof. The lantern rests beyond the columns. A thought may appear. It may remain for a moment. It may divide into several smaller thoughts. As the reflection divided between the columns, there is no need to bring the pieces together. There is no need to follow them beyond the next turn. They may change with the angle of attention. They may pass beyond sight. The bench continues to support you while they do whatever they do. Eventually, you place both feet beneath you. You rise without haste. The warm stone leaves your back, but its steadiness remains in the simple way you stand. You follow the low lamps toward the side passage. The floor is broad and dry. A smooth handrail continues beside it. Above, the glass roof gives way to a lower ceiling of pale plaster and dark wooden beams. Your footsteps change. Under the high roof, they carried a soft echo. Inside the passage, they become quieter. The sound draws closer to you. One step, then another. The ceramic token rests easily in your palm. At the end of the passage, the air carries the faint scent of washed tile and dry fabric. The covered market lies ahead. Before entering, you glance back once. The basin remains still beneath the glass roof. The benches stand beneath their lamps. The distant lantern rests between the columns. Everything behind you is settled. Everything ahead is calm. You continue on foot. The market passage begins beneath a broad plaster arch. During the day, the space may hold voices, footsteps, and the ordinary work of exchange. Tonight, the counters are closed, the awnings are tied, and the wide tiled floor has been washed and left to dry. Nothing has been abandoned in haste. Wooden shutters fit neatly across the front of each stall. Canvas covers are rolled into long, smooth bundles above them. Baskets have been turned upside down on open shelves. A few clean cloths hang from pegs where the moving air can reach them. Small ceiling fans turn at a constant speed. Their blades are broad and dark, passing beneath shallow amber lamps. Each rotation creates a faint movement in the fabric overhead. The air smells of washed stone, dry linen, unfinished wood. These three scents have followed you in different proportions since you entered the city. Here, beneath the market roof, the stone is strongest. It holds the mild mineral scent of water that has already dried. Your footsteps are quiet on the tile. The floor is cool beneath your shoes, cooler than the bench at the interchange. Narrow bands of dark blue tile cross the passage at intervals, guiding water toward a shallow channel along the center. A thin stream moves through that channel. It is clear enough to reflect the lights above, though the reflection is broken by the small movement of the current. Amber appears, then dark tile, then amber again. The water travels beside you as you walk. The market route is not straight. It bends gradually around the base of an old stone arcade, revealing each section only a little before you enter it. There is no uncertainty in the curve. The low lamps continue. The water channel continues. The ceiling fans continue. You are always able to see where your next steps will fall. You pass a broad wooden counter with a surface polished by years of use. Near the edge, the grain has become smooth beneath many hands. Farther back, the wood remains slightly rough. You pause and place your palm against the nearest corner. The surface is dry. At first it feels cool, then your hand begins to warm it. A shallow mark runs beneath your fingers. It is not deep enough to catch the skin. It simply follows the grain for a short distance before fading. You do not need to know how it came to be there. The market is full of such marks, small signs of ordinary use. Edges softened, handles darkened, stone made smooth by footsteps. Objects changed, little by little, without losing their purpose. You lift your hand and continue. The narrow water channel makes a quiet sound beside you. It is different from the canal. The canal moved with depth and distance. This water stays close to the tile. Its sound is finer, a low, continuous thread that follows the passage. At the next bend, a shallow public basin is set into the wall. The basin is made of pale stone with a band of dark blue tile around its rim. A small brass spout extends above it. Beside the spout rests a folded towel. You stop here. The ceramic token fits into a smooth recess beside the basin. When you place it there, the spout releases a gentle flow of warm water. There is no sudden rush. The stream begins softly and remains steady. You hold your hands beneath it. Warmth moves over your fingers and across your palms. The water is warmer than the evening air, but not hot. It gathers briefly between your hands before falling into the shallow basin. You turn your hands once. Water passes over the backs of your fingers. You feel the smooth edge of one nail, the small spaces between the fingers, the quiet weight of water against the center of each palm. Nothing is being washed away in a symbolic sense. This is only a practical comfort after travel. Warm water, clean hands. A folded towel waiting beside the basin. You allow the water to run for a little while. The ceiling fan turns overhead. The narrow channel continues along the floor. A linen awning shifts once and settles. When you lift your hands, the stream stops by itself. You take the towel and press it gently against your skin. The fabric is dry and lightly textured. It absorbs the water without scratching or clinging. You dry one hand, then the other. You return the towel to the ledge and lift the token from its recess. The ceramic is cooler now. A faint circle of moisture remains where it rested, already beginning to fade. You continue into the next section of the market. The passages become narrower, though still wide enough to feel open. The ceiling lowers slightly. Lamps are spaced farther apart. With less visual detail, touch becomes easier to notice. The cool floor beneath each step, the token resting in your hand, the mild movement of air along your sleeves, the occasional warmth of a lamp as you pass beneath it. One closed counter has a row of smooth wooden handles. Another is covered entirely by woven fabric in a muted oat color. A third stands behind a screen of frosted glass, turning the objects within into soft, indistinct shapes. You do not try to identify them. The market is resting. Its contents may remain private until morning. The city has a habit of leaving its public spaces orderly at night, not empty of life, not arranged with perfect precision. Simply prepared to remain unused for several hours. Counters are closed. Water is directed into its channels. Fabric is secured. Lamps are lowered. Once those things are done, the space is allowed to be still. No one continues polishing an already clean surface. No one rearranges a basket that is safely put away. No one returns to count what has already been counted. The market does not require completion in every detail before it can rest. It requires only enough care, enough order, enough light to show the path. You walk beneath the turning fans and let that quiet measure accompany you. Enough for tonight. The phrase need not become an instruction. It may simply exist alongside your steps. Enough for tonight. The floor remains steady. The water continues through the center channel. The route begins once more. Ahead, the market roof opens onto a long quay beside the final canal. The air becomes cooler. The scent of washed stone gives way to open water. Beyond the last arch, the faraway lantern is visible again. It rests across the canal, warmer and larger than before. Its reflection reaches almost to the edge of the quay. You leave the market passage and step into the quiet night. The quay curves around the final canal. Its stone surface is broad, dry, and lightly colored beneath the low lamps. A smooth rail follows the water's edge. Beyond it, the canal lies deep blue-gray, carrying only a few reflections from the sleeping district. The Faraway lantern rests across the water. It is no longer a tiny point. You can see its frosted surface now, a warm oval set within the shadow of a low arcade. The light remains muted. It does not shine into your eyes or spread across the entire canal. It marks one place: the entrance to the House of Quiet Hours. Between you and the lantern, its reflection forms a long amber path. The water divides the light into many narrow pieces. Some lie almost still. Others move gently where a current passes beneath the surface. You begin walking along the curve of the quay. There is no need to cross the canal directly. The path follows the water for a while, allowing the destination to remain in view. Your steps make a soft sound on the stone. The rail is cool beneath your palm. The air beside the open water touches your face. After several steps, you pause. The lantern is slightly closer. Its reflection has changed. The amber line now reaches the shadow beneath the rail. A small ripple bends its lower end toward you. You remain for one easy breath. Then another, if another arrives while you are still standing there. You continue. The route curves gently to the right. Along the inner side of the quay, pale walls rise beneath an old arcade. Their lower sections are faced with dark blue tile. Above, linen panels hang between stone columns, protecting recessed doorways from the night air. Most of the lamps have been lowered. Only the lights beside the path remain fully visible. Enough to show each step. Enough to reveal the rail. Enough to make the route feel clear. You walk a little farther, then pause again. The water moves below. The cool rail rests under your hand. The faraway lantern remains steady. Its reflection reaches toward the quay not because the light itself has moved, but because your angle has changed. For a moment, it seems the lantern is meeting you halfway. You do not need to hurry toward it. The light will remain. The path will remain. The next few steps may come when they come. You begin walking again. The ceramic token lies warm in your closed hand. Its shallow indentation meets the pad of your thumb each time your fingers settle around it. The object has guided no machine and opened no door since the market basin. It has simply traveled with you. A small, smooth circle. A reminder that not everything carried needs to contain information. The quay becomes quieter as it curves away from the market. Behind you, the ceiling, fans, and narrow water channel have faded. Ahead, the only steady sounds are the canal and a faint ventilation hum from the low buildings beneath the arcade. The sound is gentle and continuous. Water below. Air within the stone, your footsteps between them. A covered footbridge comes into view. It crosses a narrow side channel leading into the private district. The bridge is broad and level, with low walls and a simple roof of dark wood. Amber lamps are recessed near the floor. Their light reveals the entire crossing from one end to the other. Nothing is hidden beyond it. Through the open far side, you can see the pale walls of the entrance court. You approach without changing your pace. At the beginning of the bridge, the stone quay becomes a wooden surface. The boards are wide and closely fitted. They remain still beneath your feet. The sound of your steps grows softer. The roof shelters you from the open sky, though the sides of the bridge remain open above the low walls. Cool air continues to pass through. Halfway across, You stop beside the opening. The main canal lies behind you. The side channel rests below. The lantern is visible through the next arch, close enough for you to see the muted brass frame around its frosted surface. Its reflection no longer forms one long path. Here, the water beneath the bridge holds only a small amber patch. The rest remains dark. The change feels natural, a distant guide becoming a nearby light, a long reflection becoming a small, quiet glow. You place one hand on the low wall. The wood at the top has been made smooth by use. It is cooler where the air reaches it and slightly warmer beneath your palm. You stay for another moment. Nothing calls you forward. Nothing asks you to remain. The next step is simply available. You continue across. At the far end, the wooden floor returns to pale stone. The sound of your footsteps changes again, becoming a little clearer beneath the arcade. The entrance court opens before you. It is enclosed on 3 sides by low stone walls. The 4th side faces the canal through a row of arches. Leanen panels hang between some of the columns, moving only at their lower edges. The House of Quiet Hours sits partly beneath the arcade. Its entrance is broad and low, illuminated by the lantern you have followed. Now that you stand close to it, the lamp appears simple, a frosted oval behind a weathered brass frame. No flame moves inside. The warm electric light remains steady behind the glass. Beneath the lantern is an open vestibule. There is no desk, no queue, no voice asking for your name. A shallow circular recess has been set into the wall beside the entrance. You place the ceramic token within it. The token fits without resistance. A wide interior panel slides quietly aside. Warm air moves from within. It carries the familiar sense of dry linen and unfinished wood. The path behind you remains visible through the court. The covered bridge rests beneath its low lamps. The quay curves away beside the canal. The long reflection lies across the water. You have not escaped the city. You have simply reached a quieter part of it. The entrance remains open. You lift the token from the recess and step inside. The vestibule is smaller than the arrival hall and warmer than the market passage. Its walls are finished in pale mineral plaster. A low band of dark blue tile runs along the floor. The ceiling is supported by simple wooden beams, their surfaces left matte and unpolished. A quiet ventilation hum moves through the room. It is softer than the fans in the market, steadier than the open air beside the canal. The sound seems to belong to the walls themselves. There is no reception desk. Along one side of the vestibule stands a row of plain wooden cabinets. Each door contains a circular recess matching the token in your hand. Only one cabinet carries a faint amber light around its edge. You place the token into the recess. The cabinet opens. Inside, everything has been arranged on 2 shelves. A folded linen robe, a pair of soft indoor shoes, a small dry towel, a ceramic cup, 8 plain ceramic rings, and a simple card marked with a sequence of shapes. The card contains no words. One circle shows a shallow basin. 8 smaller circles rest beside it. 3 curved lines surround a small central lamp. The sequence is easy to understand without being studied. Water in the basin, the rings placed one by one, the linen shades drawn around the light. Nothing more. You set the card on the shelf. The robe is light and dry beneath your fingers. Its color is somewhere between cream and pale smoke. The fabric has been washed many times. becoming soft without losing its texture. You lift the stack of rings. They are held together by a narrow strip of linen. Each ring is smooth, undecorated, and slightly smaller than your palm. They contain no letters, symbols, or markings. You place them beside the cup. A short passage leads from the vestibule to the washing alcove. The floor remains dry and level. Dark blue tiles cover the lower walls. A shallow basin is set beneath a brass spout, and a narrow wooden bench stands beside it. You place the towel within reach. Warm water begins when the ceramic token rests in a recess near the basin. You wash with simple, unhurried movements. Water over the hands, a little over the face. The towel pressed gently against the skin. There is no need to perform the actions perfectly. There is no ritual here. Only the ordinary comfort of becoming ready to rest. You change into the linen robe. The fabric settles lightly around your shoulders. The indoor shoes are soft beneath your feet, with firm soles that remain steady on the tile. Your outdoor clothes and belongings fit easily inside the cabinet. You place them there without arranging every fold. The door closes. The token returns to your palm. The practical part of arrival is complete. Beyond the washing alcove, a linen curtain opens into the private sitting room. The room is low and quiet. Deep cushions rest against one wall. Their covers are woven in shades of oat, cream, and smoke gray. A narrow wooden table stands beside them. Frosted lamps are set into shallow wall recesses, producing warm light without visible glare. The exterior canal can still be heard, though only faintly. Water against stone. Then a pause. Water against stone again. The sound reaches the room through an open court beyond the curtains. On the table rests a ceramic pot and one small cup. A mild citrus leaf infusion has already been prepared. You pour a little. The liquid is warm and pale. A clean green citrus scent rises from the cup, gentle enough to remain close to the table. You sit among the cushions. They yield beneath your weight, then hold you. The back cushion supports the space between your shoulders. Another rests beneath one arm. Your feet remain comfortably on the floor. You may take a sip. The flavor is mild. Warm water. A soft green note. A faint brightness from the citrus leaf. It does not need to do anything. It is simply a warm drink in a quiet room. You hold the cup between both hands. Heat moves into the palms. The linen robe remains light across your shoulders. The ventilation hum stays low within the wall. For a while you listen to the distant canal. The journey can be remembered without being reviewed. The covered clocks, the tram window, the residential canal, the glass roof, the market floor, the long reflection. Each place has already become quieter behind you. Nothing from the route needs to be revisited. Nothing was left unresolved. The water tram completed its journey. The market passage led where it was meant to lead. The bridge carried you across. The House of Quiet Hours opened when you arrived. The room holds you now. You take another small sip, or simply keep the cup warm between your hands. Across the sitting room, a second linen curtain hangs within a low arch. A narrow line of amber light rests beneath it. This is the passage to the lantern chamber. The chamber has already been prepared. Beyond the curtain is a small round room. A low sleeping platform stands against the inner wall. Layered linen bedding lies across a firm, yielding mattress. One pillow rests near the head of the bed, with a second placed beside it. A broad ledge curves around part of the room. Set into that ledge is a shallow circular basin. A narrow jug of warm water stands nearby. At the center of the room is the lamp whose exterior face you followed across the city. 3 loose linen shades surround it. A small ventilation opening allows a faint, steady flow of fresh air into the chamber. Every part of the room is already known. Nothing else waits beyond it. You set the cup on the table. The ceramic rings remain together in their strip of linen. The room's token rests beside them. You stay among the cushions for one more quiet moment. The deep seat supports you. The robe rests lightly against the skin. The low hum remains inside the wall. The canal moves beyond the court. There is no need to think ahead. The final room contains only the things you have already seen. The bed, the basin, the water, the rings, the shades, the lamp. You lift the cup, the rings, and the token. The linen curtain moves aside with a soft touch. The passage beyond is short. You begin to walk inward. The passage ends at the round room. You step inside. The linen curtain settles behind you, leaving the entrance loosely covered rather than closed. The lantern chamber is exactly as it appeared from the sitting room. Small, round, quiet. The low sleeping platform rests against the inner wall. Its wooden base is simple and broad. The mattress gives beneath your hand when you test it, then returns slowly to its shape. The bedding is layered rather than heavy. A smooth lower sheet, a light woven cover, a softer upper layer folded near the foot of the bed. The pillow closest to you is firm enough to hold its shape. The second is softer. You move them slightly, arranging one behind the other. No further adjustment is needed. The shallow basin waits in the curved ledge. Its interior is pale stone, smooth and undecorated. Beside it stands the narrow jug of warm water. You set the 8 rings down in a line. Their linen tie opens easily. 1 ring, then another, until all 8 rest beside the basin. They are alike, though not perfectly identical. One is a little thicker at the edge. Another is slightly lighter in color. Each bears the small variations of a handmade object without carrying any symbol or meaning. They do not stand for tasks. They do not stand for memories. They do not need names. They are simply 8 quiet circles. You place the ceramic cup on the broad ledge away from the basin. The room token fits into a shallow recess beside the sleeping platform. When you set it there, the central lamp becomes a little dimmer. Its exterior face is set into the wall that borders the canal court. This is the Faraway lantern. From the first broad canal, it appeared no larger than a warm point. From the quay, it became an oval within a brass frame. Now, inside the chamber, it is simply a low lamp behind frosted glass and linen. It has not changed, only your distance from it has changed. You pour the warm water into the basin. The stream is narrow and steady. Water touches the center of the pale stone and spreads outward in a clear, shallow layer. The sound is soft, lower than the water in the market channel, and closer than the canal beyond the walls. When the jug is empty, you set it down. The water continues moving for a few moments. Small circles travel from the center toward the edge. They return more faintly. Then the surface begins to settle. You do not place the rings into the basin yet. That belongs to the quiet descent after you are resting. For now, everything is prepared. The bed, the pillow, the light cover, the basin of warm water, the 8 rings, the 3 linen shades around the lamp, the faint air entering through the ventilation opening. No new place remains to be reached. No object remains to be found. No instruction waits beyond the room. You sit on the edge of the sleeping platform. The mattress lowers beneath your weight. Your indoor shoes rest steadily on the floor. You remove them and place them side by side near the bed. The floor is not cold here. The linen robe brushes lightly against your legs as you turn. You lie down. The mattress yields beneath the shoulders and hips, firm enough to support you and soft enough to receive your weight. You draw the lower cover over yourself. It settles gradually, across the feet, over the legs, across the center of the body. You pull it no higher than feels comfortable. The pillow supports the head. The second pillow remains behind it, adding a little more height. You adjust your position once, then perhaps once more. The bedding shifts with a dry, quiet sound. After that, it becomes still. The lamp remains softly visible. Its amber light touches the nearest edge of the basin. The water holds a small oval reflection, clear now that the surface has settled. The rings rest beside it. 8 pale circles, 1 shallow pool, 3 linen shades, the familiar elements of the room. Fresh air moves through the small opening. It crosses the chamber without becoming a draft. You feel only the faintest change along the exposed skin of the face. Beyond the wall, the canal continues. The sound is distant now. Water touching stone. A pause. Water touching stone again. The same sound that reached the sitting room. The same water beside the quay. The same canal that carried the tram through the city. You do not need to follow it backward. You are already where the route was leading. The public clocks remain covered. The market remains at rest. The tram has completed its final journey. The bridge stands beneath its low lamps. The sitting room waits beyond the curtain, quiet and unused. Everything has reached a suitable place for the night. You have reached one too. The central light remains warm and low. The basin water remains still. The 8 rings wait without meaning. Your body is supported. The journey is complete. Nothing outside this chamber requires your attention tonight. You are lying in the lantern chamber. The bed is beneath you. The pillow supports your head. The light cover rests across the body. Fresh air moves quietly through the room. Water waits in the shallow basin. The 8 rings remain beside it. Nothing new is needed now. You may let your hands rest wherever they have naturally settled. One may lie upon the cover. The other may rest beside you. Or both may remain where they are. There is no correct position. The bed already knows how to support the weight you give it. You do not need to help. The mattress holds the shoulders. It holds the back. It holds the hips and legs. The pillow holds the head. The cover rests without asking you to hold it in place. You may notice the face exactly as it is. No need to smooth the forehead. No need to loosen the jaw deliberately. No need to deepen the breath. Breathing continues in its own way. A breath arrives. A breath leaves. The faint air moves through the chamber. The distant water meets the stone. The basin remains still. In your imagination, your hand reaches toward the first ceramic ring. The movement can be small and easy. The first ring rests between your fingers. It is smooth, plain, light enough to lift without effort. You place it into the warm water. It touches the surface. A small circle travels outward. The circle widens. Its edge becomes softer. The water settles. The first ring rests beneath the surface. Nothing has been assigned to it. Nothing has been removed by it. It is simply there. a pale circle beneath still water. Your hand returns to rest. The bed remains beneath you. The faint air continues. The distant canal continues. After a while, your hand reaches toward the second ring. It feels much like the first. Smooth ceramic. A quiet, rounded edge. You place it into the basin. The surface opens around it. One circle moves outward. Then another, fainter circle follows. The edges become less distinct. The water settles. Two rings rest beneath the surface. They need no names. They need no purpose beyond resting where they have been placed. Your hand returns. The pillow remains beneath your head. The light cover remains across the body. The amber lamp is still visible through its 3 loose shades. There is no need to watch every movement. The ritual continues, whether the image is clear or faint. The third ring is lifted. It touches the water. A small circle appears. It widens. It softens. It disappears into stillness. 3 rings rest beneath the surface. The water becomes quiet again. The distant canal meets the stone. A pause. Then water meets stone once more. The 4th ring is placed. A circle, a widening edge, a surface becoming still. 4 rings now. Nothing to count beyond this moment. Nothing to remember later. The chamber remains the same. The bed below, the air moving gently, the water settling. The 5th ring enters the basin. Its movement is soft. The circle spreads, the edge fades, the water rests. 5 rings beneath the surface. Your attention may stay with the basin, or it may drift toward the pillow, or toward the low sound of air within the wall. It may drift beyond the words. Nothing is lost when attention wanders. The room does not require watching. The 6th ring touches the water. A small movement, a widening circle, a soft edge. Stillness again, 6 rings. The lantern remains steady. The reflection in the basin may be broken for a moment. Then it returns. Not perfectly, not exactly as before, only enough. The 7th ring is placed. The surface receives it. A circle travels outward. The circle grows faint. The basin becomes still. 7 rings rest quietly beneath the water. Your hand feels lighter simply because it is empty again, not because anything else has changed. The bed remains beneath the body. The air remains mild. The distant water continues. The 8th ring is lifted. The last plain circle, no name, no symbol, no question. It reaches the water. The surface opens. One small circle moves outward. The circle widens. Its edge becomes less distinct. The movement slows. The water settles. 8 rings rest beneath the surface. The basin is still. There is nothing more to place. Your hand returns to the bed. The room contains the same familiar things. The bed, the basin, the rings, the lamp, the shades, the quiet air, the distant water. The first linen shade begins to draw around the lamp. It moves slowly. Dry fabric passing through warm light. The room remains visible. The sleeping platform keeps its shape. The curved ledge remains pale. The basin reflects a soft amber oval. The first shade settles. The light becomes gentler. Edges remain clear enough. Nothing disappears suddenly. The second linen shade begins to move. It passes around the first. The amber glow spreads into the weave. The basin becomes less distinct. The rings beneath the water become pale, quiet shapes. The edge of the ledge softens. The second shade settles. The room holds fewer details now. The bed beneath you. The air moving through the chamber. The water becoming still. The third shade begins to draw around the lamp. It moves with the same unhurried pace. The remaining light narrows. A broad glow becomes a slim amber line. The line rests vertically between two folds of linen. The room is dim, but not suddenly dark. The bed remains beneath you. The air continues. The basin water remains still. The narrow line of amber light grows softer as the fabric settles under its own weight. No hand needs to close it. No switch needs to be found. The linen simply rests more fully around the lamp. The amber line becomes thinner, softer, fainter. The bed beneath you. The faint air moving. The water still. The light is now only a warm trace behind the linen. The room no longer asks to be pictured. The shapes may fade. The curved wall, the basin, the rings, the edge of the bed, they may all become less clear. The bed beneath you remains. The faint air remains. The still water remains. There is no need to follow every word. There is no need to remain at the surface of the story. The journey has finished. The route is quiet behind you. The chamber is quiet around you. The bed continues to support your weight without effort. The air passes gently through the room. The water lies still in the basin. A breath arrives, a breath leaves. The ventilation hum remains low. The canal moves beyond the wall, water against stone, a pause, water against stone again. The bed beneath you, the faint air moving, the water becoming still. The words may now become part of the room, low and distant, like the canal beyond the wall, like the lamp behind the linen, like the last reflection after the surface has settled. You may sleep, you may remain quietly awake. Nothing is required. The bed beneath you, the faint air moving, the water still. The linen settles once, then becomes quiet. The distant water continues. The soft air continues. The room holds you without asking for attention. The bed beneath you, the faint air moving, the water still.